Alright, nice try, lady. Or whatever you are. I'm supposed to think you're a nun, but I know you're really some kind of big ugly demon, so let's have it. Aha! I knew it! Big ugly demon.
What's good, people? Agent Juice reporting for duty. I have now seen the recent season of F is for Family. And I must say that I believe F is for Family is the best adult animated sitcom out there right now. It does a lot of things really well, and it also does a lot of things I haven't seen other shows do. So, let's go ahead and buckle into our favorite 1970s suburban household. Let's go ahead and make sure we do everything in our power to avoid the rage of our father who wants to throw us through a wall. Let us go ahead and place the like button in front of a train so we can smash it for the YouTube algorithm. And let's go ahead and discuss F is for Family. So as per usual, before we get into it, let's go ahead and talk about the Speedpaint. This is eldest son Kevin Murphy of the Murphy family, which is the main family of F is for Family. And his whole shtick is that, you know, he's this rebellious teen who wants to be a rock star. And of course, with him and his vest and whatnot, it reminds me a lot of Eddie Riggs from that video game Brutal Legend. So I decided, hey, let's draw Kevin Murphy as Eddie Riggs. Rocking out, shredding on that guitar with lightning and all that nonsense. And it fits, so I decided, hey, let's go with it. F is for Family, TLDR, is amazing. I find it great. It's sharp, it's funny, it's really dark, and, you know, it's all the good things you'd expect from a show like it. What I like the most about it is, despite how dysfunctional the Murphy family is, it's very obvious that they ultimately love each other. For the longest time, there was this huge push in edgy adult comedy, which was, let's be honest, was spearheaded by The Simpsons, to show a dysfunctional family where everyone hated each other. Eventually, it kind of devolved to the point where you have what I consider later season Family Guy to be the worst offender of this, where it got to the point where it's very clear that everyone in the family just loathes each other, and the loathing was kind of just there for loathing's sake to keep the shock value of, ooh, it's adult comedy, ooh, look how edgy we are. What I love about F is for Family is that despite it all, it's very clear the family still loves each other. Especially between Frank and Sue. You know, all too often you see the husband and wife just constantly rag on each other. It's a boomer meme, how much, you know, oh, I hate the wife, oh, the ball and chain. And even though Frank and Sue will go off on each other, there are moments you will see where despite it all, they still love each other very much. And that is incredibly rare.
You idiot! I'm not having the baby!
You're not?
No! I got indigestion from that truck tire you called a steak. I think there was a beak in there.
Well, that's what I get for buying beef at an ostrich farm.
You were gonna deliver a baby with barbecue tongs?
It's safer than the Forcucula.
That thing sucked!
It did!
I will say showing a loving couple is more on the rare side than not, but it has been done before. A good example would be Bob's Burgers. Bob and Linda Belcher are very clearly in love with each other, and that's great. And I really love F is for Family's attempt at showing that Frank and Sue still love each other despite how dysfunctional the family is. Another thing I really love about the show is its dark humor. If any of you guys follow me for very long, you know I love dark humor, and F is for Family does it really well, because the way they do their dark humor is showcasing how insane things were back in the 1970s. You know, you had things like making jokes about huffing paints by having the spray paint be Huffy's paint. You have jokes about, like, you know, the unregulated use of chemicals and, like, cleaning out the swimming pool. And of course, you know, the good old fashioned of, like, you know, we don't talk about our feelings, we just shove it down, you know. And I love it. What I think I love the most about the dark humor is that it's touch and go. When a joke is kind of pressed into your face, when it overstays its welcome, it essentially dies. A joke can't be milked, because that's kind of antithetical to what makes a joke good. Because humor is predicated on the unexpected. And the more you expose yourself to something, the more inoculated you become to it, and therefore the more expected it is, and therefore the less funny it is. So I really appreciate it that when they do these little quick jabs, the example I gave is like the Huffy's paint. You don't see the Huffies unless you really look into it. I had to pause when I was watching it so I could read it, and I found it hilarious. And then, you have, again, the other example I used is, cleaning out the pool with toxic chemicals. It's just a one and done kind of thing. And I really like that because it not only allows the humor to be hilarious and just slap you and then run off, but it shows that the writers are confident enough in their ability to make a good story that they can inject all of this humor in there without having to pad time with milking a joke, because they have an overarching story that they can tell, and then that they are telling well. The third thing that I really like about the show is something that is now more common thanks to online streaming services like Netflix and Hulu and whatnot, and that is F is for Family clearly has an overarching story that they are telling. There is a sense of continuity. It's not like every episode is a reset to the status quo. It very much feels like the creators understand that there is a beginning, middle, and end to the story. So it's hopefully not going to be something that's milked and run into the ground like other shows. And I think the story, the overarching story formula for this show is good for it because it's very clearly telling a tale of growing up in this time. Because I don't know this for sure, so this is all assumption. But the creator of this, which I think is Bill Burr, he voices Frank Murphy, the seemingly main character. I believe this is kind of a story of Bill Burr's childhood, because Bill, the youngest son, the middle child in the Murphy family, is named Bill. So it seems very much like it's supposed to be Bill Burr. And I think this story, even though it focuses mainly on Frank and Sue, it's also a coming-of-age story for the kids. Mainly, I believe, Bill, because again, Bill is supposed to be Bill Burr, but also obviously Kevin and of course the younger sister Maureen. And having an overarching story, we get to see how these characters change and evolve with their situations. This is something that you are not going to see in The Simpsons or Family Guy or Bob's Burgers or any of these other primetime shows, because these primetime shows were made essentially to have one premise, which is family does goofy stuff, whoa, let's laugh at them. And the idea is that you're supposed to be able to run this essentially forever. And unfortunately, that model is just not sustainable for a good show, because there is eventually going to be a point where you just run out of juice. You're no longer you don't have your heart in it anymore, and this is no more obvious than the concept of the zombie series, right? It's coined the Zombie Simpsons, Zombie SpongeBob, where at a certain point it was very obvious that the show ran out of steam, and nobody's heart is in it anymore. And it's refreshing to see an old formula of the adult animated family sitcom being treated as a beginning, middle, and end overarching story, because I believe that is better for it in the long run. So I'm hoping I'm not going to eat my words later on and the show goes in the can, but I am willing to go out on a limb to say that I feel confident that F is for Family is going to be a standout adult animated sitcom story, because it's allowed, I believe, I have no proof of this, I'm just going based on what I surmise by seeing the way it's being made, I believe it is going to end at some point, and they're going to wrap it up and be done with it and not run it into the ground, and we can look back on F is for Family and say, man, that was an amazing show. Amazingly well written, surprisingly dark, and yet surprisingly hopeful, because again, despite being a dysfunctional family, it's obvious that they still love each other. So it's an unusual breath of fresh air by taking something that has been run into the ground, the adult animated family sitcom, and doing just a little bit of things different and seeing where you go with it. So I hope that it continues to be good. So, with all that said, I think I'll go ahead and wrap it up for today. So you people know what to do now. If you like what you see and you want to see more, go ahead and hit the sacred buttons. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can be on the up and up. about what happens on this channel. Also, go ahead and comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts? Do you like F is for Family? Do you think it sucks? Or, do you agree with me about, applying the overarching family thing to a family sitcom, which we really haven't seen too much before? Let me know. Also, go ahead and share the video. I always say that because you need to share to the world that you watch good content. And that must be screamed from the mountaintops. But only show this and not the other stuff that you don't want to show other people in your browsing history. And of course, if you wish to stalk me elsewhere on the internet, you can go ahead and hit up my links here on the screen. In addition, you can go ahead and go down below to my intro video where I have all the links there. And the reason why I do that is because it's an algorithm trick. So yeah, you can either type them up manually or go to the link below and get the links from there. But with all that said, I thank you for spending this time with me. I hope you all stick around. And until next time, riddly diddly deuces.